Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer. Served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
Welcome in. How are we doing? It is a Thursday. That's right, Thursday already. Where did the week go? We are just flying along here. And I can't believe we're at this point already. That we are already one day away from the weekend being here. And I know a lot of people take Friday off a lot of times, right? In the summertime, have themselves a 3-day weekend, which is a beautiful thing. And actually, tomorrow's my daughter's birthday, so I'm going to come in, do the show, still going to do my thing. But in the morning, probably hang out and do something with her. Turns 3 tomorrow. That's a big deal. Do you remember anything that happened to you when you were 2 or 3, whether or not you had a birthday party, didn't have a birthday party?
I can barely remember what I did 2 days ago.
Right.
Sparky.
So Kay is all mad at me because we've never really thrown her a birthday party on her weekend and made a whole big deal. And we've done it for the other kids. It's she's not going to remember any of this. Whatever. We got stuff going on. It is what it is.
Aren't little kid birthday parties for the parents anyways, too? That's what I've always heard. It's supposed to be a little relaxation for the parents, distract the kids doing something. Yeah.
Yeah. Open their presents. I mean, she still gets presents and opens them and all that stuff, right? Still does all of that. So, she'll have a birthday party, but it won't be for a couple of weeks. It's not going to be tomorrow. We got stuff going on. So, Sunday, we're going to Beloit. We've always got stuff going on. By the way, if you don't have tickets for that Mason Crosby Brouhaha Softball Slam coming up on Sunday, get your tickets now, man. Beloit Sky Carp website. Go buy those tickets. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a field goal kicking competition at noon with everybody playing, and then the game gets underway around 1 o'clock. Mason Crosby, Jordy Nelson, a bunch of other celebrities out there. I'll be out there. Mitch Thunder Nellis, Tommy Wirtz. Come on out, hang out with us in Beloit coming up on Sunday afternoon, all for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So, great charity as well. Coming up today, we're going to talk to somebody we've never talked to. Somebody that I follow on Twitter. I'm always kind of man, he's got some pretty good stuff. Now, do we always agree? We may not always agree. But I think it's still pretty good stuff. Ross Jensen from Statline Scout, he'll be joining us coming up at 2:40. And we'll get his thoughts on this Brewers farm system. Top 3, top 5 guys. But is there anybody or people that you'd be I don't care who it is, I'm not trading this person at the trade deadline, Sparky. A couple of these guys, not moving them, right? So we'll get into that with Ross Jensen. Plus, he is way high. You know this because I've told you. He is way high on Robert Gasser. He starts talking about top pitching prospect. Robert Gasser is top 6, top 7, and it's been this way for a while, Charlie. And nobody else even mentions Robert Gasser one way or the other.
I mean, Robert Gasser was electric last season when he got that opportunity to pitch. Right. I don't blame him for being high on him. I was really excited about him, too, when he first came up.
Totally agree. So we'll talk to Ross Jensen about that coming up at 2:40. Tim Dillard, baby, FanDuel Sports Network analyst, former Brewers pitcher, joins us each and every Thursday at 3:20. Lots to talk to him about, right? Because he was off last week. So he had the week off during the All-Star break, so he's back. Got to talk to him about the 11-game winning streak. It ends 1-0, but then you come back last night and you get that victory last night and score a bunch of runs. And again, you look at that lineup and you go, how many hits are they going to get? Anybody guessing 17 hits or whatever the case is? Probably not. Probably don't think it's going to look like that. But it does. And they win again. And the Cubs lose again. And the Brewers 1 game up on the Chicago Cubs. And now, after an off day today, they get the Marlins coming to American Family Field. I mean, as a Brewers fan, Charlie, I feel pretty good about the Marlins coming in this weekend after just getting through the Dodgers and Mariners going 5-1 on that West Coast trip.
And also hearing that people are trying to trade all their players away and trade proposals and stuff to the Brewers. I mean, that must mean they're not doing too hot right now.
No. So we'll see what that's all about, but we'll talk more about that with Tim Dillard at 3:20, 3:40, Charlie Sounds of the Day. 4 o'clock Green and Gold Update brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Matt LaFleur talks every day pretty much now for the rest of training camp. So we'll hear from Matt LaFleur coming up at 4 o'clock. 4:40 normally is what we miss on today's show. It's not going to be that today. We are going to do an interview today at 4:40 instead. And we're going to do something on this show we normally never do, something that you normally always hear in crosstalk between Andy Herman and Mitch Thunder Nellis. That's normally when you get all the wrestling talk you can handle on this station are those two guys talking wrestling. The rest of us don't really talk. But today, I kind of feel like we have to, right? Say your prayers, eat your vitamins guy, Hulk Hogan, passes away earlier today. So we are going to talk with Dave Hero, Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. Hogan has been in town here numerous times in the last year or two, and we'll get Dave Hero's thoughts because there's nobody I know more tuned in and more connected to all these different guys in the wrestling industry. His son Cal is a wrestler as well in the Ohio Valley wrestling circuit, so we'll talk to him coming up at 4:40, and we'll kind of just go over the history of Hogan and all the different things that have happened throughout his career and how important he was to wrestling. We'll do all that coming up at 4:40. So that's the show for today. Don't forget, you can also stream us on YouTube, baby. We are here at The Fan Milwaukee. Again, use that @ symbol, The Fan Milwaukee. And you can watch us on YouTube. You can go back, check out our shorts, check out our videos, like and subscribe, baby. Like and subscribe. I was talking to Tommy Wirtz earlier today. Tommy Wirtz goes, "Hey, Spark." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "When we get to 1,250 followers, 1,250, we should have a prize to give to somebody, whoever is that, like that person that is that subscriber. We should have something to give away." And I started laughing. I was like, I'll talk to some people, see if I can figure something out, see if we can make that work. So maybe we'll be able to pull something like that out. I think right now we're at like 350 or 360 or something like that, right?
Lunch at Wendy's with the crew?
Ooh, that we can definitely
us two,
do.
Tommy,
yes,
Thunder.
But my question is, to all of this is, how do you know who that person is at 1250? Like, is there a way to know that? Because that's my question is, how do we know who is that person that subscribes to make it 1250? Because it could happen in the middle of the night. It could happen early in the morning. And we're not on here all the time looking at our YouTube stuff.
We're going to have to take shifts, Sparky. We're going to have to figure it out. Maybe we'll just count all the way through. I think you can order like all your subscribers by when they subscribed. We could probably count through. I think.
That way.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
the lunch with the fan hosts or whatever else would be pretty fun. Yeah, I think that would be a good time. All right, we'll figure it out. We'll let you know. When we figure it out, we'll figure it out. But again, like, subscribe at The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. We're going to talk about Packers training camp, what happened today, all that fun stuff we do every day. We'll do that coming up at 2:20. I want to first start off talking about a piece, a column written by Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. And, of course, you know him from Foul Territory, and then you get Fair Territory and all that stuff that Ken Rosenthal is involved in. He wrote a piece earlier today, and I took a part of that article or column that he wrote, and I tweeted out a section of it for people to kind of respond to, react to, and then quote tweeted it around 1 o'clock, hours after I put it up, so we could go back and we could read it and see what all is going on with this plea. I told you before that Rosenthal has had a thing where he likes to rally for the fan, is that the best way to put it? Towards owners of smaller markets, and he likes to implore owners of smaller markets to spend more money, to make big trades, to take on salary, right? That is kind of Rosenthal's deal. Now, I don't know if Ken Rosenthal looks at it from the perspective of, hey, man, I'm sticking up for the little guy. I'm sticking up for these smaller market guys that, don't have a voice or ignored or whatever else. And I am going to bring it to everybody's attention of what kind of really needs to go on at the end of the day here. To which point I think is very noble. Very, very noble of him to do. However, I feel like some of you don't seem to feel the same way about Ken Rosenthal. So here is a snippet that I tweeted out earlier from the Athletic piece. From Ken Rosenthal. Ask club officials about upgrading the left side of the infield, and they respond as if Joey Ortiz and Durbin are Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. Ask them about reinforcing the bullpen, and they sing the glories of Trevor McGill, Abner Uribe, and company. So that is a paragraph from the Ken Rosenthal column at The Athletic. And his point in all of this is, go get Suarez, right? Go get Suarez. Do what you have to do. Go get Suarez. Help this team. Like, they're right there. They've got a chance maybe to go all the way and finish this thing. But you have to push in and go. And in the piece, Rosenthal leads the piece by saying, okay, let's just be honest here, right? I went after Atanasio in the offseason for not spending money, not bringing guys back. And if this goes sideways because they don't want to spend money, then he's going to be the one to blame type deal and everything else. And clearly, the season didn't go sideways, even though they didn't spend the money to bring back any of their guys like they always do and trade away Devin Williams and do all that stuff. So clearly, it still worked out. And in the piece, he says, Mark Atanasio could very well look at me and go, why do I need to make a trade or do anything else? We have the best record in the NL. We're the 1 seed. Why do I need to go add more things to what I have and give up prospects and take on $4 or $5 million for the rest of the year? Why do I need to do that considering how good we're playing right now? And people were not very happy with what Ken Rosenthal had to say. One knucklehead who sometimes I wonder if he reads like all the way through things said that I said it. I definitely did not say it. He's like, well, don't listen to anything Sparky says. Don't listen to anything Sparky says. It literally says from Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. I didn't say it. Come at me like, just read. There are classes that can help you read. So anyways, I'll read some of the tweets that I got back in response to that paragraph. But this is what I want to talk about on the radio show. What's your reaction going to be if the Brewers choose to stand pat at the deadline, especially when it comes to the left side of that infield? They don't add a bat. They go, we're good. We're going to go with Durbin and Ortiz. And we're going to play from here. And we're going to see what happens. Now, the other thing we should point out is, when was the last time, how much, Charlie, has Caleb Durbin played in the last few games? Because it feels like Mr. Siegler has been playing quite a bit here, and there hasn't been much to do about Caleb Durbin playing in this lineup after Caleb Durbin was on fire with the bat. He's kind of like gone away a little bit here, and it's been the Anthony Siegler show.
That's what it's felt like, and I can't really say I've complained. It doesn't really feel any different, if I'm being honest. Siegler yesterday had a couple clutch hits, had some really good base running moments, which is what you get out of a Caleb Durbin.
Yep.
I think we've seen some good plays out of a Caleb Durbin too, which is nice. But Anthony Siegler also made a sick throw yesterday.
Third, like woo-wee.
It's exactly what I was just going to say. So what we're seeing from Caleb Durbin, yes, it's been fun. Yes, it's been good enough, I guess. But you're also getting good enough from basically anybody else you put in that position at this point. So if you can do better than good enough, why not do better than good enough?
Sure, that's right. Try to upgrade at the end of the day. So what say you, Brewers fans? What's your reaction going to be? The Brewers choose to stand pat at the deadline and not do anything to help the left side of that infield and just play with what they have. No power, and just play with the good defensive players and hope this trend continues with how well they've been playing as of late. Nikolai Law, fan talk at text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. Sound off with a recorded voice message on the Odyssey app as well. And again, YouTube, you can chat with us there as well. At The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. Use that @ symbol, The Fan Milwaukee. And there's a chat button right there on YouTube. We can see your comments. Either I'll read them, Charlie will read them on the air, providing you're not swearing and all that other stuff like everything else that goes along with this. Again, I don't know if I said this. If you swear at me in a tweet, it's not being read on the air. Like, it's not happening. I'm not reading it. So either figure out how to get your tweet out or get your chat message out or whatever without cussing, and then we'll read it. If not, if you can't do this without cussing, then it's not being read. I don't care if it makes sense or not to you at the end of the day. I will be livid if they don't do something. Just telling you right now, I'm going to be hot. Because I agree with Rosenthal, and I agree with everybody else that says, here's your moment. Here's your moment. There's no guarantee you're going to have another moment like this where you are this set up at the front of this rotation to be a major problem for teams in the playoffs. in general, this bullpen locked in. I like to compare us to the Cubs because that's the team we're battling. Man, picks anybody you want in that bullpen. On a given night, they could give up 3 or 4 runs. On any given night, it's a different cat. It's like, man, what happened to tonight? I look, there's a different guy in the bullpen giving up 3 runs. Consistently, that's what's been happening to them for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. So you don't really have that with the Brewers. You don't. No matter who they throw in there, they pitch pretty good. Everything is fine. The starting rotation, all 5. All 5 guys, when they go out there, you expect them to win, right? You look at the pitching matchup and you're like, I feel good about this. We have a chance to win this game. Some pitching matchups, you look at them like, oh, got this. There's no way that guy's hanging with our pitcher. So you have that. But then when you get to the offensive side of the things and you look at lineups, you look at the Dodgers lineup, you look at the Cubs lineup, and you look at the lineups you're going to face, how does that match up? How do we look at that compared to some of these other guys? That's where I get concerned at the end of the day. Is yes, pitching matters. Yes, defense matters. And both the Brewers are going to be in a great position at the end of the day. No question. The Ken Rosenthal article, by the way, that's on The Athletic, Charlie.
Yeah.
I click on it. I've been clicking on it. Something went wrong. Please try again later. It's no longer, I don't know if it's no longer there or whatever, but I can't seem to get the thing to open. I can open every other piece on The Athletic. Every other piece I can open up. The Rosenthal piece, I get something went wrong. See? That's what it says. Something went wrong. I can't get it to open up. I read it this morning. I took part of it. I put it up.
Maybe you broke it.
So I don't know if they pulled it down or what all happened there. No clue. So I can't get to it to read exactly other than the paragraph that I tweeted out. But from my perspective, this is something.
I mean, it's still up there online as far as I can
Correct.
tell.
Can you click on it and get it to work?
Yep. I'm in there.
So it's something with my app then. I have no idea.
It's always you, Sparky.
It is always me, yes. All right, got some stuff coming in here on Twitter. There's one dude on here that's fighting with everybody. This dude, Jared, is essentially fighting with everybody on Twitter. Pretty much went back and said that the organization's an embarrassment, pretty much, if they don't do anything at the end of the day. Gunslinger Ted says, they're the best team in baseball and the ownership is embarrassing. I don't get some fans. Fair enough. So, at some point, though, does the ownership want to win a World Series ring or not? I mean, that's to me, that's all this is about. Like, do you want to or don't you? Or are you happy just making the playoffs? Because for all those years, we always said Herb Cole just wants to be the 8th seed for the Bucks. Just get there every year, get your playoff share, see what happens, and go from there. That's what it was. Mark, right? Summer of entertainment and fun. That's what he says his job is as an owner. That's what he gives you every year. He gave it to you again this year. So if that is the deal, if the deal isn't putting a ring on his finger or putting a ring on everybody else's finger in the organization, and that's not something he gets overly worked up about. Like, he goes to bed at night and he doesn't stress about them ever winning a World Series in his time as an ownership. He goes to bed at night. He doesn't ever stress about them, getting out of the first round of the playoffs. That doesn't bother him and he sleeps just fine and it's not on his mind. Then you're never going to take that next step. Then you're going to need lightning in a bottle, a magic carpet ride, in order to get yourself there. Because he's never going to push all in to allow you to have the opportunity to go do it. I don't know the answer to this. I have no idea if the man, can't sleep at night because wondering whether or not they're ever going to win a World Series or not in his ownership or in his kids' ownership or whatever the case may be. How much do you want it? He has said before he hates losing more than he likes winning. Based on that logic, and that's great. That's great. But if you're not obsessed with winning a ring, if you're not obsessed with winning a championship, is it ever going to happen? Right? I would give you a perfect example. I'm going to use us here, right? Us here at the radio station. We could go on YouTube and we could just stream it. And when we're done, shut it off and be done with it. Do we? No. We're creating shorts, we're doing videos, doing all this other stuff to provide as much to you as possible to go and look at whatever it is that you want to look at from any of the local shows that we do. You could have, I don't know if I can say that word. Can I say that word? I don't know. But either way, you can go half in, not do it the whole way, and be lazy and just stream it and not do anything else. Sure, you can do that. But we choose not to because we want to do the best project we can do with what we have because we have a small staff. We're doing the best we can. He over here has a smaller payroll. But as we pointed out the other day in that report, he's spending 41%, according to that report, of his revenue share money. The Mets are spending 90% of the revenue money. If he just got to say 50% of his revenue money, that's another $25 million that would be added onto this payroll. Now, instead of being like 24th, now you'd be in the top 15 in payroll at that point. And literally give Matt Arnold a fighting chance to try to go finish this thing and win it. It's everything at the end of the day. So we can sit here and go, Rosenthal this and Rosenthal that. First of all, Rosenthal shouldn't be the one you're mad at. The man you should be mad at is the guy that owns the team if they don't decide to do anything here at the deadline. That's the guy you should be pointing the finger at. Rosenthal's point is 100% accurate. You're in the position. Now do something. He's right. I don't care that they have the best record in baseball. They're not a perfect team. They're not. There is no perfect team in baseball. Not a thing. You can always look to make a position better. You don't have 9 Shohei Ohtanis across the diamond for this team. You don't have that. And some of you do what Mark wants you to do, which is, we're cool. Best record in baseball. We get bumped right away in the playoffs, but it was a great summer. We had a lot of fun. It was well worth it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm having fun. It's been a great run. Man, watching Mizorowski, Woodruff is back. Priester has been shocking. I don't know if anybody saw that coming. He's been amazing when he has pitched. Freddie Peralta's having a career year. So, yeah, it's been awesome. And some of these guys bursting out into the scene and doing their thing, very enjoyable, very happy. But do you think you're going to see a World Series won in your lifetime in this city? Do you think it's going to happen in your lifetime? And that question is different for everybody. Charlie, he's in his early 20s. He got a long ways to go. So Charlie may be like, hell yeah, I'm going to see one. I'm going to be alive for like 60 more years. I'm definitely going to see one at some point. I'm 30 years older than him. Not 30, 20 years older than him, 25 years older than him. I'm not so certain I'm going to see one. And that's why when you talk to people my age and older, it's like, man, do something here before it's too late. And the younger people are like, they don't got to do it right now. Don't give up a lot to go do anything. We're good enough. We'll be fine. And then when you get bounced, well, we'll get them next year. I'm sick of we'll get them next year. I've been doing that for way too long with this Brewers team. All right, Nikolai Flaw fan talk and text line. What will be your reaction? The Brewers choose to stand pat at the deadline, especially when it comes to the left side of the infield. KJ West Alice, you're up first on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with me, Steve Sparky Fifer. What's up, KJ?
What's up, Sparky? Thanks for taking my call. Good afternoon. I'm going to feel the same way I felt every other year that they didn't do anything, that they had an opportunity with a record going into the playoffs. And that's pretty much ambivalence because it's par for the course. I mean, I'll be totally shocked, Sparky, if they go out and get Suarez. I mean, I'll be jumping for joy. Trust me.
Everybody will be shocked. The national media will be shocked. The players will be shocked. David Schoenfeld on ESPN put down his 10 most likely trades to happen, right? 10 most likely. The Brewers weren't even listed as making a trade in the top 10 trades to happen at the trade deadline right now.
No, and I just don't see Mark Antanasio spending that type of capital to go all in, even though they do have the best record. They've got a plethora of pitching that they can use. They've got a good farm system. They could probably, move a couple of pieces and still be good. I just don't see him doing it.
This is what they should happen. Thanks for the call. We're going to read some. We got a chat message up here on YouTube. I'll have Charlie read in a second. This is the thing. You have this thing tomorrow, right? You got the seniors coming back to play in this home run derby tomorrow after the Brewers and Marlins game. By the way, this show will be starting at 3 tomorrow because Tommy Wirtz will be in here from 2 to 3 doing the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So we'll only be on from like 3 to 5 tomorrow. But all these dudes are coming back. Now, it would make sense that Mark would be here for this, right? I mean, Braun, Fielder, Hart, Gallardo, right? All these dudes are here. He's going to be here, right? Okay.
I think he has to.
Okay. So here you go. I'll help you. Here's your opportunity. Gather the press around. Talk to the media. And then let them get to wherever they got us to get to, or you just lead it. With look, guys, we've been here 20-something. What is it? What are they celebrating? 20 years, 25 years, whatever it is?
25 years.
Yeah. Guys, 25 years. We have no World Series. We've never even been a World Series. They made a documentary just a bit outside. That's amazing. Talking about the 82 team. That was the only time this organization has been to a World Series. I personally have had my fill of talking about 1982 and being to the World Series. I want them to make a documentary on this team winning a World Series. And to that end, we're going to do everything in our power to try to put ourselves in a position to get that done at the end of the day. You know, we are the top team right now in the National League. Only a game up on the Cubs, so it's going to be a tight race all the way down to the end. But we're not going to stand pat and not try to add and make this team better between now and the end of the year. The goal is to win a World Series, and that's how we're going to approach this trade deadline. If he says that, what's the reaction? Don't you think fans go nuts? Hallelujah, finally.
Kind of basically the same reaction you got out of Packers fans when you went up there and drafted a wide receiver this year.
Yes, right. He'd have his Mark
That's
Murphy
all it would
moment.
Take. That's all it would take.
His Mark Murphy moment. Like, he literally should. I mean, he'll never do this, but give him a microphone after the game's done, before home run derby. Let him say that to a packed, sold-out crowd, and let everybody go nuts. And it's on TV. Twitter explodes. Everybody goes crazy. Again, you then have to execute. But still, it would be the first time where he actually stepped out and said, enough is enough. We're going to try and win this damn thing this year, everyone. Let's go. And watch everybody go nuts. Rosenthal, all these guys would be like, holy crap, he just said it to everybody. What owner steps out and says that? None. Now's your opportunity. Go win your fan base, who some of which have splintered off. Go back and win them and get them to buy into this thing. Then go get Suarez. Go get yourself a really what's his name? Heisley or whatever, the closer for the Cardinals. Helsley.
Ryan Helsley.
Go get that dude. I know he's got 3 ERA. I was looking at stuff last night. But that dude would be a hell of a weapon. Another hard-throwing cat in the back end of that pen to go with Uribe, to go with McGill, have him on the back end. Go get both those dudes. Let's see what happens then. Let's see what everybody thinks of the Brewers then and having to deal with that. That is something that would get me fired up. That is something that would get this whole town buzzing at this point. Go ahead.
It would be just like when they went and got Moustakas. And
yes.
That hyped everybody up. When they get CC Sabathia, Zach Greinke.
That day when they traded for Yelich and signed Lorenzo Cain, we were losing our minds on this show. Losing our minds on the big show. Going nuts. Right?
That's awesome. It's a great feeling.
In that Rosenthal piece, I'm pretty sure it was in the Rosenthal piece, he had pointed out that they were averaging 1,500 less fans per game than they were last year or whatever the case was at this point. You go do that, watch ticket sales go, whoop. Everybody's going to be like, all right, they're in, we're in, let's go. Let's go buy some tickets, let's go to the game. They had that one-day only sale yesterday to celebrate the 11-game winning streak. You could have got $11 tickets to the game on Saturday. $11 all day yesterday on the Brewers website. I don't know if they sold it out or not, but that was a promotion right there, trying to get people to come to that game for $11 on Saturday. They're trying.
That's a pretty good deal.
That's a great deal.
I'll take
for
that.
an MLB game. I don't care where I sit for $11. I'm in.
Right.
I'm in the house. Let's have some fun. And it was a Terang. It's the Terang Platinum Glove bobblehead on Saturday. $11 tickets, and you get there early. You get the bobblehead.
That's what I would be looking for.
But it was only one day, so it was just yesterday, and I mentioned it yesterday in the Crosby Show when I was filling in. All right, Ross Jensen, Statline Scout. We'll get more to him coming up here at 2:40. We'll go over a few of the things that happened at Packers training camp coming up in the next segment. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hold on. Read the YouTube chat real quick, the message before we go on.
So if we head over there, we got our guy Anton commenting at The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. Like and subscribe on there. He says, if the Brewers do not do anything at the deadline, it will be crushing. Even though they have been on a tear right now, they have had moments of not scoring runs with people in scoring position. They need that boost on offense and shoring up the left side of the infield.
So this is something that should be pointed out too. Brian on Twitter says, at the Fan Milwaukee, you can't say that Durbin is just playing good enough, Sparky. He's second on the team in WAR. And he's been benched, essentially, here in the last few days for somebody else. Listen to me. I don't disagree with you that Durbin's playing really well. I don't disagree. But he's getting sad against, what is it, against lefties? Is that who he's saying against? So, again, are you going to sit Suarez against lefties or against righties? Or is Suarez and his power just going to play every day? And like Bob Nightingale pointed out the other day on Mason Crosby's show, Talking to Thunder yesterday, that Suarez is really streaky. So, yes, he's been rolling. But he could go ice cold, and whoever trades for him could regret it for the rest of the year. So there is that goes towards that. I'm not arguing about Caleb Durbin being better than maybe I thought he was going to be or whatever. Yes. But that should not stop you from trying to get better. That's my issue is, well, he's playing really well. Okay. But you have a chance to get a better player who can make a bigger impact in the middle of this order. Caleb Durbin's never going to be a 4 hitter. He's never going to be a 5 hitter. He's always going to be a lower third of the order hitter. And he'll be fine in the lower third of the order. But to be able to have power in this lineup to where you have Yelich, Churio, Hoskins, Suarez, Contreras, all those guys down the center of that lineup that can change a game quickly in a 1-0 game, you have now got 4 or 5 guys with a long ball that can tie it at any time versus having to get 2-3 hits in order to score a run. Like, that is a huge difference maker at this point that we all have to consider, right? I'm not nuts, am I?
I don't think so. I think right now when we're sitting here relying on a Caleb Durbin, relying on an Isaac Collins to be the ones to step up, the Jake Bauers, that's not really a good spot to be in. It's nice that they are the ones that are stepping up and that they are the ones that are making big plays. But at the end of the day, I'd much rather have it be a Christian Yelich be the guy that's supposed to be stepping up or William Contreras, and it's not happening right now. So you need to find somebody else of that caliber to be able to do that.
I want to make something else very clear. If you traded for Suarez, right, that does not mean you cut Caleb Durbin. That does not mean you cut Joey Ortiz. Monasterio might be out of a job, but those guys aren't being touched.
Oh, they love Monasterio.
Right, so maybe Seager goes back to AAA. Whatever. Right? I'm not saying not to play Durbin. Suarez could play 3 days in the field a week and DH 3 days a week. And Durbin can play the other 4 days. Like, that's fine. I have no issue with that. You Durbin guys, still get your guy playing every day. And if they think Durbin's bat's so good, they can plug him into the DH on certain days if they want. Everybody gets so worried about team chemistry and how it's going to affect the lineup and all that. I get it. But this is an addition. This isn't a subtraction like Hader was. If anything, it should help everybody by getting a guy coming in with 36 home runs. You don't think Christian Yelich and William Contreras will be excited to add that dude to the lineup? I mean, everybody in that clubhouse, outside of maybe Caleb Durbin, would be excited.
And he may even be fine because he's still on the team probably in that situation.
Yes.
He's still got a shot this season and honestly proved that he can be an MLB level player. Maybe not the greatest player, but he got himself a job. A guy who's a former D3 player that they like to talk about. He's done it. So even if he gets benched a little bit, it'll be okay.
Exactly right, yes. All right, sorry. Now we're not got time to do the Packers training camp. That'll go to 3 o'clock. We'll talk about Packers training camp coming up at 3 o'clock. Coming up next, Ross Jensen, Statline Scout. He'll join us on YouTube. If you want to watch along on YouTube, you can do that as we stream live. Again, at The Fan Milwaukee. Use that S symbol, at The Fan Milwaukee. Time for your fan weather forecast. Right now, 81 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. And as far as the rest of the day looks, don't see any rain. So that is a good thing. And a low of 69 tonight. Welcome back. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie Usen producing, other side of the glass. Joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, he is Ross Jensen from Statline Scout. Follow him on Twitter at RossJensen12. Ross, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here.
All right, man. So first off, before we get into talking about Brewers prospects, who you wouldn't want to move at the trade deadline if you're the Brewers and so forth, tell us about Statline Scout and what that's all about.
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually the CEO of Scout the Statline and Prospects Live, which I got the hat here.
Nice.
And yeah, so Scout the Statline, we started back in 2019, and up until about 2022, we really started moving this thing forward, started our own website. It's really about data modeling and trying to get to the best truth that we can about players using statistics and data, whatever we can to try to produce the best outcomes. So we project out future statistics for prospects and pros in general. So I really think that our model that we've built out there is probably one of the most actionable, helpful tools that you could possibly find for fantasy players, but also for card collectors. We've got a lot of uses for it. Prospects Lives, I stepped in as the CEO there just this year prior to the season starting. So we do all sorts of MLB and MILB coverage. We cover the draft very extensively. It's really exciting stuff. We got a lot going on there. So check us out there or at scoutthestatline.com.
Okay, so I guess my first thing is, when you talk about like Pro Football Focus and what they do, they have a bunch of individuals that are watching game film and grading based on their opinion of what they're watching and so forth. And then they put all their numbers in to a bowl and mix it all up and spit out whatever they spit out. How does it work for you? Are you just using hard stats, or is there any opinion scouting based into this?
So it depends. On Scout the Statline side, it's all data modeling. So we used advanced metrics, we use statistics, performance statistics, we use whatever we can, and it goes into our data model, spits out projected future results, all data, no biases, no BS, just straight data. Prospects Live is very different. We're basically a scouting agency. We've got a bunch of people there that are scouting out amateurs as they're coming up just before the MLB draft. And then, of course, we also cover the same kind of things that you would find at most other baseball sites, especially with a prospect focus. We've got dynasty coverage. We've got everything.
Talking with Ross Jensen. Follow him on Twitter at RossJensen12. Wanted to get you on to talk about some of the Brewers prospects and your thoughts on them. I want to lead with a guy that I don't see anybody else talking about. You're the only one that I consistently see ranking him in like top 10 of pitching prospects and so forth. And part of the reason is because he hasn't pitched, just starting his rehab now at the Arizona Complex. But that's Robert Gasser, who now is in a situation maybe to get himself back into the conversation by the end of the year, whether it's in a bullpen role or whatever the case may be. What do you like about Robert Gasser so much?
I mean, he's got a great repertoire. He's got, I think, 4 or 5 pitches that he can utilize. I think 3 of those are pretty solid pitches. I think a lot of people have sort of overlooked him just because of the injury, but he should be back at the end of, I believe, August is what I'd read originally. So that's a good thing. I could see the Brewers fitting him in possibly into the bullpen to try to get that arm ready. But I just think there's a lot of value there.
When we talk about this Brewers team where we sit right now and what they have, I mean, one of the things that we know they have is they've done really well with international signings, right? So Jackson Chourio has been a beast. They already signed him to a long-term deal. We do our 1 hour before every game leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook to every Brewers game, and we have a Building the Winners segment on there brought to you by Ironworkers. And we talk about the minor leagues, and we go over each level of the minor leagues from the game before and so forth. And there's lots of talk about one Jesus Made as being one of those guys that's coming. We've had some people on here that think maybe he might have even a bigger upside than maybe Chourio does because of how he's thicker than Chourio at this point. Your thoughts on what you see from Made and how you see him panning out?
Yeah, I mean, scouts pretty unanimously love Made. Really natural, silky swing, I think, and, real natural power. He's very athletic. He's fast. he's going to do a lot of damage. I think he's really young still, so there's still a lot of growth to happen. But he's got all the tools, all the capabilities. I think he could be a really good pro. He's a top 10 prospect for me, for sure.
Another guy that has been talked about and was a top prospect there for a while for the Brewers farm system is a guy that got pulled last night in the 4th inning. And I still haven't seen a reason what happened. But Jefferson Cuero, the catcher for the Brewers, who I think many of us think is going to be the eventual replacement for William Contreras, because once Contreras hits free agency in a couple of years, I don't see any way that the Brewers are going to be able to sign him long term. What is your thoughts on Jefferson Cuero and just how good he is?
I just released some catcher rankings on X recently, and I had him up there. I think he's going to be really good. He's also one of those guys that he had an injury and he was almost sort of forgotten a little bit, but he's come back and he's been really good. Excellent bat to ball skills. He's a really good defensive catcher as well. So I think there's something there for sure. I think we could see him making an impact this year.
What about Luis Pena, another guy that's with the Carolina Mudcats, another infielder? Him and Made both do the same thing, shortstop, third base. I don't know if either one will end up in the outfield at some point. Pena having a much better season than Made has been to this point, even though Made gets all the press and all the publicity. What do you think about Luis Pena?
I'm probably one of the few people out there that has Pena above Made.
Yes,
in my
you are.
rankings.
We talked about it when you did it. We talked about it. Tommy Wirtz, who does that leadoff show, was losing his mind that you finally had him above Made, because Tommy has been on that boat for a while.
Yeah, no, I think he's incredible. In fact, I had him slotted for a little while. I thought he was going to be my next number 1 prospect. He didn't quite get there when I actually released those rankings, but he's real high. I had him as my number 3 overall. Just incredible bat ball skills. I mean, I was talking about Caro with that, and I mean, I think Pena is another level. I've comped him to, this isn't a very popular one these days, but Wander Franco a little bit in what I'm seeing with his bat ball skills. He just, I mean, he can hit anything. He's very talented. I think he's got more power than people expected him to have, which is a really good sign for the future. And then he's got excellent instincts on the base paths. He's what I've been informed is that he's not exactly a burner, but his instincts are so good. I mean, he's just racking up stolen bases, and our model projects him for, I think it's in the high 40s for stolen bases as a pro. So the expectations are, high already, but I think he's surpassed him by far. And he's been one of my biggest risers this year.
So him and Made both are going to be 20 plus home run guys at least?
I think we're I think right now we're projecting them kind of on the cusp of 20 home runs, both of them. But I think they could easily surpass that. That's one thing that, I would say with our model is it hedges on the conservative side. So I think Made clearly has the skill set to do it. And I think with Pena, just natural growth is going to take him there. I mean, he's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger over the years. And with the skills he's already got, I mean, we're talking about somebody that could be like a Mookie Betts type of talent, in my opinion.
It's a beautiful thing. Love hearing it. Ross Jensen, Scout the Stat Line, Prospects Live. Follow him on Twitter at Ross Jensen12. We talk about the Brewers minor leagues. All right, so now trade deadline time is coming. The Brewers obviously, fingers crossed, are going to be buyers, which means some of these prospects might be getting traded. A lot of people are kind of focusing on their pitchers, right? So Logan Henderson maybe being a guy, and Carlos Rodriguez, he got tattooed for 7 last night, but Carlos Rodriguez at Nashville maybe. In the big leagues already, Aaron Ashby, DL Hall, some of those guys. I don't think Gasser could be traded because he's hurt. I'm not sure if anybody would invest in that. Maybe they would. Your thoughts, Chad Patrick's another one, as far as these guys go, and are any of these guys would you be like, dude, unless it's some great player, I'm not trading this guy because I like his future too much?
Yeah, there are. One we didn't touch on, by the way, and you mentioned the Carolina Mudcats, and I just want to throw some credit their way. That team is so stacked. They're ridiculous. Yep. If you live anywhere near that area, please check it out before those guys get promoted. That's just my little pitch for the Mudcats. But Braylon Payne, he's a guy I really like. I think I had him super aggressively ranked right at the beginning of the season. I really liked what I was seeing. And Sorry, got my daughter in here.
It's all good, man. I got a daughter too. I know how they are. I got you. No big deal.
Yeah, as I was saying, so Braylon Payne, he was like really exciting to me when he first came in. Then his stock kind of took a hit because he was slumping pretty bad. I think there might have been some injury issues in there causing that. But since then, he's returned and he's been extremely good again. I think we're seeing over this last month or so the Braylon Payne that I thought we were going to get. He's a guy I wouldn't move. So or at least it would take a king's ransom for me to want to trade him. But he's probably my biggest name that I just would say, don't do it.
And that's an outfielder. You didn't even mention any of those pitchers. I like a Logan Henderson for one. See, for me, of these guys that are at AAA or in the big leagues right now, Logan Henderson is my favorite guy of all of them. And there was a report earlier today, that they wouldn't move Henderson or Chad Patrick unless it was for some gigantic deal. Otherwise, they don't want to listen on possibly moving either one of those two guys.
I mean, it makes sense for me. I think it's obvious, like Misiorowski's not going anywhere. Henderson, right. He's maybe on the cusp. I would think that you would want to hang on to him. I can see what the Brewers are saying there. And, he came up and performed pretty well. So I think if you are going to move him, you're going to expect to get a lot in return.
Right.
I think that's completely reasonable. As far as the other guys, I don't think that they're necessarily untouchable. I don't think, as to your point, I don't think they're going to move Gasser. They're going to see what he's got once he gets back and he's healthy.
Let me ask you this real quick. Let me interrupt you. If I took Gasser, I took Henderson, I took Patrick, and we'll leave Carlos Rodriguez out. We'll say those three guys. If we took those three guys, how would you stack those guys up as far as who you like the best? When healthy, obviously.
So we got Henderson, Patrick, and who?
Robert Gasser.
Okay. So for me, I would go Henderson probably the top. I'd take Gasser second, and then Patrick would come in third for me. So that would be how I would order him. So if I was gonna move one of those guys, me personally, it would be Patrick first.
Yep, I agree. Yep, we're on the same page there. Ross Jensen, Scout the Stat Line, Prospects Live. Check them both out on the internet. Follow him on Twitter at RossJensen12. Always has lots of good stuff. Ross, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Love being here.
You betcha. Take care. There he is, Ross Jensen, joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM 1057 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, 6,500 square feet, 2,000 square foot center screen, over 30 sporting events shown at one time. Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen, all kinds of delicious food, homemade desserts and pastries, all-day brunch, 48 beers on tap, and you can reserve your seat ahead of time so you don't have to worry about standing on a popular given night of stuff going on down at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Go to Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. If you're in a hurry but you want to throw down a couple of bets, right, but you can't stick around and watch the game, hop out of your car right there on that fourth floor skywalk going into the casino. Run inside, make a couple bets on the kiosk, hop back in your car, and continue on your day. And then when you get your winnings, you can surprise your wife with a nice night out at a fine dining restaurant. She'd be like, we can afford this? Oh, yeah. We got it. Don't worry about it. I got you, honey. Right? Yeah. It's all good. Is that sneaky? Do you think that's sneaky? I mean,
maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe it's a teensy bit.
Try not to be too sneaky. Take a quick time. I'll come back. Still to come, Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst at 3:20. We'll go over the Packers training camp practice from today, coming up at 3.